relatively serious to the ridiculously funny. Ground Zero accommodates them all. Professionals, urban contemporary businessmen and women, policymakers, public service workers, students, artisans, traders, and the in-between. Ground Zero comes up on Tuesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays 4 to 5 p.m. Ground Zero. This program is exclusive to Invicta 98.9 FM. Tune in. It's another lovely Saturday evening, and you're right here tuned to Invicta 98.9 FM. And like always, it's time for the Never Dull Moment program on radio, the program where we bring up topical issues in the polity and with guests in-house. And of course, you, the listener, will get to try to understand all of these issues. Today on the program is going to be the beginning of a series of reviews that we'll be doing, because the year 2021 indeed was a very beautiful year for so many people. Some achieved all their set goals, others did not set any goal and even achieved so much. But the bottom line is that no matter the situation we find ourselves, we must always take time out to take a review, take stock of what we are doing, where we are coming from, and where, of course, we intend to go to. And on the program today, we'll be doing that. Like I said, it's a series of reviews of 2021 that we'll be doing. We'll be reviewing politics, we'll be reviewing governance, we'll be reviewing fiscal accountability, we'll be reviewing local government accountability, we'll be reviewing education, we'll be reviewing health, and of course, not forgetting too, we will be looking at social protection as it's all the advancement and all that we are able to achieve in the year 2021. And to do that with me today on the program, I have three gentlemen, two already seated. Hopefully the third one will join us before the end of the program. We'll start from Samuel Yohana. He is a politician, a public affairs analyst, and of course, one that is not new to the program Ground Zero. Samuel, you're welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr. Ehis, and good evening, listeners at home.
Okay. I also have with me in the studio Dangwa, Abbas, Danjuma, or Danjuma, Abbas, Dangwa. Back to front to back is the same. He's from the Coalition of Association in Leadership, Peace, Empowerment and Development, CALPED.
Thank you very much, Ehis, for having me, and good evening to the listening public.
Okay. And my name is Ehis Agbon. Feel free to call me the Peacemaker. And on the program today, like I said, we'll be looking at politics and governance. And that would be our start-off point. We'll generally look at all that transpired in the year 2021 and looking at how we can connect it to 2022. and see how we can generally have a better understanding of what we are really into. 2021. Well, before that, I'd also like to let you know that you can be part of the program by going to our various social media platform. On Facebook, it's Invicta FM 98.9, Invicta FM Kaduna, Invicta FM Kaduna. That's on Facebook. And on Instagram is at Invicta989. You can also listen to us via our website at www.invictafmng.com, or you download the Invicta FM app. There you'd also be able to listen to us and of course watch videos of what we are doing. On Facebook, you can watch live videos and see us as we do what we do. You can also post your comments and add your contributions right there on Facebook. Okay, now let's go straight into the gist, and let's start with doing a review of politics in the year 2021. The year 2021 started very bright and interesting as so many things happened in the political scene. And amongst those things that happened in the political scene was the fact that many people felt that the year 2021 was a watershed year where the different political parties were going to put their acts together, because it is what is done in 2021 that will set the stage for preparation of political activities in 2022. The People's Democratic Party had their own fair share of the sweat, with a total change of brigade as the ESCO met and had to push out the hitherto chairman of the party, Uche Secondus, who took the party to court, and eventually we know the outcome of what happened and where we are today. Same thing, there wasn't there was so much sleepless night also in the ruling All Progressive Congress, as the party, which have had a caretaker chairman for so long that so many people are beginning to forget that he's actually a caretaker chairman and feeling that he is the party chairman, which of course may not be, I can't say may not be unconstitutional, but the section is saying that it's unconstitutional for him to sit for so long, over a year now. And congresses were organized, congresses were held, and 36 state country came out with state chairmen that were more than 40. I'm being very conservative now when I say more than 40, because so many states had factions that came out with their own chairmen. Osun State, Lagos State, Ogun State, Kano State, several. Happily and luckily for us, Kaduna State was under wrap. We didn't have so much of such stress and tension. That's not to say that the party was also devoid of its own fair share of stress in the state. That's for the PDP. Now, looking at other political parties within the year, many parties are beginning to, if I use the word evaporate, will it be derogatory? So many parties are beginning to just expire. People don't even remember that they exist. While some are also, just like prior to the 2019 election, when people were talking about a third force coming into place and all of that. This year was also a year where people have started mooting ideas of bringing in another political party that would be a third force, in quotes, this time around. What kind of force it's going to be, nobody knows, because the prior to 2019 election third force, was it actually a force? Did a force even exist then? It ended up being a two horsemen race, because the two parties were just outstanding and the others were just so far behind that people felt that they don't exist. Is there a possibility of all the minority political parties merging and forming a force? We'll look at all of these angles on the program today. I'll start with Samuel Yohana, because you a politician. What's your political barometer of 2021 telling us? Talk to us.
Like you said, it has come and it is almost going 2021. A lot happened politically in 2021, where congresses were held. I think the two leading political parties had their congresses from the world level up to PDP had their own up to national level, while APC had up to state level, awaiting a national convention. Well, it came and it left some states with a lot of dust that is yet to settle. That's in APC, and that's part of the reason why I know there are one or two states that they not even had their own local government and state congress. I think Zamfara have not had their state congress. Then there's one other state somewhere. Is it Anambra? Or they too have not had their own congresses. Well, you see, the challenges all boils down to internal democracy of most of all these political parties. Because this issue of winner takes all usually leaves the parties in tatters after congresses, where some believe they were not treated fairly, and it is not far from what is happening now at the National Assembly, where the legislators had pushed for direct primaries because a lot of them felt they were edged out at the ward and local government congresses at their various states. And they felt they too have an opportunity to slug it out with their state chief executives.
Yeah.
That's what has brought in direct primaries.
Okay.
Yes. And for PDP, they've had their own congresses and they had a national convention. But I tell you, that convention they had, there's still a red flag hanging over that national convention where their former national chairman that is in court. I think he has gone to Court of Appeal now to challenge the judgment that gave PDP go ahead to conduct the national convention.
Yeah.
And let's wait and see how it goes in the court. Because if it doesn't go their way and it goes the way of which condos, that means the national convention they had was effort in futility, where it's like starting all over again.
Okay.
Well, for APC, it's work in progress, and I'm sure the National Reconciliation Committee that was set up, chaired by former Nasarawa State Governor Senator Abdullah Adamu, is doing a good work to reconcile most of the party members who felt edged out during the ward, local government, and state congresses. And they have a timeline where this reconciliation should be resolved, of which I'm sure Abdullah Adamu is making effort to see him and his team get it sorted out, and by February, tentatively, I think the National Convention for APC will hold.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just listened to you and I see that you tried in your own way to give a fair review of 2021. Of course, we know that you are from the ruling party, and whatever your analysis may be, as fair as one would want to be, you may want to give a fair review to your party.
Okay, are you talking about the whole country or Kaduna State?
Kaduna State and the whole country.
Okay. Kaduna State, we had local government elections where primaries were conducted and the general election took place. Well, the leading opposition party won in some local governments, while the ruling APC had more local government, and they lost a couple of local governments. And it all boils down to the democratic nature of His Excellency Mal Nasir El-Rufai, where he said the winner in any local government should be allowed to have its way. Unlike other states where winner takes all.
Okay.
In Kaduna State, when it comes to local council elections, I think El-Rufai has set a standard. In fact, I think Kaduna State is the first state that used electronic voting machine in local council election, of which INEC is trying to look into something like that and see if they'll be able to implement it either in 2023 or subsequently in 2027.
All right. Fair review. Let me come to Danjuma Abbas Dangwa to also give us his own review of politics in 2021, Kaduna and nationally.
I think that is a difficult place because it's not my
Jurisdiction.
Area of jurisdiction. Unusual
constituency.
However, I can only say of it as I see it, from the perspective of the person whom at the end of the day is going to be affected by the decisions that these people continue to make.
Okay.
Firstly, I would look at it from within the local government elections. Yes, we have successfully in Kaduna State gone through with the second local government elections that has been conducted electronic. That e-voting, when you go around and see the process and all, you realize that yes, it takes just a matter of minutes and your exercise is fully conducted and completed. And we have to give kudos to that kind of innovation being introduced, to improve the sanctity of the ballot in Kaduna State at the local government levels. However, there are so many drama that greeted that particular exercise. One of which was the appointment of the State Independent Electoral Commission's chairperson, whom was at that time, whose name was at that time being kept aside by the State House of Assembly, who refused to even attempt to screen her because they felt they had some grievances with her stint in the first term. That said, we have also seen that if you measure the level of preparedness, how engaging that institution was around conducting that elections. I mean, engaging the general public, keeping the public abreast and informed about what the process entails. You will find that the institution was really lacking in that regard. And then when you come to the issue of the political parties, most of the time what happens in political parties by way of primaries are their own exclusive business anyway. But we who are at the end of the day the secondary voters will usually be interested about political parties that really deliver candidates, where candidates emerge through very strong democratic principles and processes. Where that is happening, it sort of gives the citizenry the confidence that this political party is one that is run by consensus, run by collective view and opinion. And I think that in a way that is actually something that the general public can also make use as a prism for assessment around which are the strong political parties, which are the ones who are able to aggregate various views and opinions and still hold elections that are able to still reflect that this is the common wish of the people. The upheaval around the opposition party today, the leading opposition party, may have also strayed some nerves, but I for one will particularly be more interested in the amendment of the electoral law or electoral act. That is because that particular piece of document can guarantee how well Nigeria can swim through the tides of democracy here, now, and in the future. There are so many lessons that we have heard. There are so many bad experiences that people are having with especially the electoral process. And if you factor that into what this electoral bill holds, there is so much hope that, of course, now that we have gone past the issue of electronic voting, let us see that the president is also committed to fulfill his promise in 2015 of sanitizing the electoral process is very key and important. However, when you look at political parties, some of us cannot be so excited about political parties owing to the fact that in all of the roles and duties and responsibility of political parties, they are only able to fulfill nearly 10 to 20%. This is around the acquisition of power, and not really about the enlightenment of the citizenry, their own members, in what governance is about, in also ensuring that there are very sound processes that tracks and measures performance beyond the sekai kind of mentality.
Yeah.
There is no such room, for people to really participate into government after they are done.
Okay.
Right now, you can say that there are no constituency meetings being held by any of the State House of Assembly members in Kaduna State. And that is quite sad, because with the myriad of problems that the citizenry is faced with, and these people coming to use to appropriate mega resources that all of us have, in trying to solve our problems, the level of consultation at constituency level, that at the grassroots is very, very lacking, and we feel that is actually room for improvement. And that's how I see 2021 politically.
All right. Though you were talking about politics, but of course, didn't know when you started talking about governance. So I come to Yusuf Goje. By the way, Yusuf Goje stepped into the studio in the course of our discussion. If you recall, I said that he was going to join us before the end of the program. Now I'm coming to Yusuf Goje. I'm still not going to take you to that field where I know you are almost 100% comfortable. We'll still talk about politics. But this time around, we'll be looking at the political scene in the sense that, from your estimation, do you think many more people are getting interested in being, are getting involved
In the process.
in the process, in politics and in the process? Are people aware that they need to be members of political parties if they really desire to effect any change they want to effect at all politically? That's looking outside partisan politics now.
Well, I think the whole essence of politics, in the real sense, is provide good governance, security to the people. That's the essence. And when politics is not delivering on that, most times you find out that people lose interest in the political scene. And I can assure you that you would see more political apathy going forward, because from 2019, you know what happened in 2019, where we had about 82 million voters, out of which only 27 million voters stepped out to cast their vote. And out of that number, only 15 million voted for the current president, which means that the current president has a mandate of the minority in terms of the total number of voters as at 2019. So basically, if you look at from then till now, most of the political parties have not provided the kind of political stability needed to ensure that we find more people get into politics. Because currently, because our economy generally is not at the level we want it to be, people tend to see politics as the easiest way to make money. So, and that is the biggest motivation why people go into politics. And it is because when you look at the economy, there are no opportunities for people to eke out a living. So people feel that politics is the gateway through which our commonwealth can be taken advantage of. So I don't think our political parties are doing much around that direction. We have seen politics that is devoid of ideology, where sitting governors decamp, going to other political parties. Some of them political actors who have even criticized this current government, and at the end of the day, they, should I say, shamelessly decamp, going to the same party. And I wonder how that person is able to hold himself in public for after all he has said and all of that. So that is what we have seen. We have seen that our political parties have made nonsense of internal democracy in the various various political parties where, well, as much as all the political parties will want to cover it, we know that the stench of the smell is coming out to know that all is not well in all of the political parties, because at their own level 2023 is uppermost, and we are seeing a lot of permutation, realignments and strategizing. So that is basically what is happening around the political scene. And I know that going to 2022, let me just see, we'll see a lot of political implosion from the various body language we are witnessing in 2021. But generally, there's nothing positive that we can really hold on to say that people will want to join political parties more, except if probably you feel it's a way to make money. We will know that. But in terms of really to sanitize the system, to make the system work, you are not seeing much of that. The political parties have abdicated their number one responsibility outside standing for election, which is political education, which is providing ideological basis from which ordinary citizens can compare and contrast and say this is the best option for us as a country. So generally there's nothing to excite the ordinary Nigerian, because all indices of development in terms of poverty, in terms of human capital development, in terms of insecurity, all of it is not in favor of the common man. So generally, we've just seen the usual politics where people stir up sentiments and what have you, but there's nothing concrete that will tell us that we'll be seeing anything different from what we have seen from previous years.
All right. You're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM, and we are doing a review of 2021. And today is a part one of the review that we are doing, and we are basically looking at politics and governance. So we've been talking about politics and we've not even touched much of we've not touched governance, because I just realized now in the middle of this program that governance is so broad.
Yeah.
It's so broad that one edition of this program cannot in any way do justice to it. So we'll take some messages. After these messages, we'll still come and talk. And what we are talking about is going grassroots now. How can we encourage people to be involved or to be part of the political process? Because once they exclude themselves from it, they really wouldn't have a say. There'll be a limit to the impact that they are going to have in changing the system. We'll take these messages now, and we'll be right back on the program Ground Zero right here on Invicta 98.9 FM. Welcome back from that commercial timeout. You're listening to Ground Zero on Invicta 98.9 FM. And today on the program, we are basically doing a review of 2021, looking at politics and governance. I'm trying to find out how people can be more involved in the political process, how people can be members of political parties right from the world level, local government level, zonal, and state level, and of course nationally, and also looking at what transpired in the local government election this year and just the general election that took place in 2019. We will see that people seem to not be too interested in the whole process again,
And that's what is leading to voters' apathy.
Yes. Now, how can we reverse the trend? How can we? I'll start from you, because I did not remember to tell you that he's also the organizing secretary of the APC. So how do you organize people to be involved, to be members of political parties? Because they need to be part of it because they can have a say.
The challenge here is our orientation.
Okay.
Orientation in the sense that people just believe it's only politicians that should vote. And how candidates emerge, it's a very, very important aspect of politics.
Okay.
That's why you see the direct primaries will help a lot to reduce voters' apathy, because party members, card-carried party members, will be part of the process of how candidates emerge during the primary elections. Because people have this impression that delegates go sit down and highest bidder among the aspirants.
Then give them money.
Yes, highest bidder, and they settle, they buy their way through. Let me tell you something. There are two types of politicians. There's the thorough grassroots politician is the one that if you elect him, he goes into the state assembly or national assembly every weekend or every fortnight. He's in the constituency, either visiting or either condoling people or either attending wedding, or you get my point, naming ceremony. But the other type of politician is the one that comes with his money in the briefcase. You only see him 3-4 months in the primary election.
The ones we call the Abuja politicians.
Yes, and that's why you see so many vacant seats in the National Assembly. When they get elected, they're only in Abuja to do their business. They're not bothered about the lawmaking on what happened in the...
Lawmaking is just secondary.
Yeah, what happened in the Hollow Chambers. And besides, if you ask a lot of them, they don't even have a legislative agenda. What they want to do for their constituency. So they come negotiate and they buy their way through the primaries. And you see, the level we're in right now, we're not that enlightened that we extray a particular candidate once he wins the primary election. It is what the political party present to us. That's where we just go. That's why you ask some people when they come to vote, do you know this candidate? PDP has presented, or I don't know him. I'm only voting for the political party. So you can see that he doesn't even know the person he's voting for very well. So the process, you see, in developed democracy, you have, in America, for example, I might be in the same house, me and Yusuf. Either Yusuf is a Republican or I'm a Democrat. And you see that right from our childhood, we have been put into that party. Our idea, the way we think, the way we conduct ourselves in the society, I mean, indicates the political party we belong to.
Yeah.
So that's what we're encouraging people to do here. Register with the political party of your choice, so that you have a say on how the political parties are being run, on how candidates emerge.
Okay.
Because you cannot even be an executive of a particular party, political party, if you are not a card-carrying member of the political party. And the moment a credible candidate emerges, I am telling you, people will be encouraged to come out and vote. One of the major reasons why people are discouraged to come out and vote, you see the right person that's supposed to be elected during the primary election wouldn't get the party's mandate. And people become disgruntled and say, why am I even going to waste my time in the general election when I already know this man's background? He's not going to do anything serious if he gets elected at the general election. So that encourages people not to come out and vote. So my decision to political parties is that they should try and improve their internal democracy where the rightful candidates emerge, because it gives them less stress, less challenge to campaign without their candidate.
Okay, I'll come to Danjuma. How can we make more people get involved, who become members of political parties and get involved in the process? Because we know many people, young people, are not interested.
Yeah,
what can we do to get them interested?
Well, I for one will begin by saying, if the electoral bill that we have now, that is instructing political parties in the line of direct primaries, is signed to law by the president. If he assents that bill, the opportunities improve. You will find that you rarely will hear political parties registration process ongoing, at any given point in time, like where the office is, you walk in, you can register, and you get a card. And then the fidelity of also these records, whether or not you can just decide to have one person who buys all of the cards and begin to share and give who and who and who and who should have the political party's card at the end of the day. And then you also will have to look at when that happens, that people can become members of a political party overnight. Because with these direct primaries, again, You will find that one person is a member of PDP, PRP, APC, SDP, and then there is no means of really going through the records to really clean up who is really a political party member here or there.
Okay.
And because this direct primaries isn't new, it was in practice before, but what were the flaws around it? So it is the reflection of the institution. If these institutions that we are having today, if they were going to be strengthened by the regulatory body, that is the umpire, in really conforming to some certain set of standards, and that these standards are stepped down again to the people, there will be a chance that we get it right. And then you look at institutions like NOA, the National Orientation Agency.
Yeah.
You look at the Ministry of Information. What role are they doing? Are they really playing to strengthen that for us? MAMSA was the last time we had a political renaissance in Nigeria. At that time, women knew why they needed to be interested in politics. It was a level of knowledge that penetrated every level of education in Nigeria at that particular point in time, because wherever you turn, you might be seeing an article that is coming from MAMSA. It was successful then. I feel that political parties who really are interested in living up to the expectations and aspirations of the people must also provide the avenue for people to link up and engage and understand what they are about. For now, let us just say that until it gets better, until the processes of winning elections gets better, where the vote of the citizenry will count, political parties again might not be so serious about really availing themselves to the point where people can really have that level of influence and engagement. Because as it is now, it is a business of money bags. People, like I was trying to insinuate earlier, people decide who becomes member, and when you say direct primaries, when those cards come out, one person might go and overhaul everything, and then you get to hear that it's being handed over to people who on election day become members of political party. When processes like that are allowed to happen, yes, people will continue to lose confidence in the process.
Yes. You also talked generally about how we can make people to be members of political parties. Now, Yusuf Goje, I know that you are someone that also work in the grassroots, and you are doing so much in the area of local government accountability mechanism. But what do you think what can Yusuf do to encourage? I wouldn't want to ask if you're a card-carrying member of any political party.
I'm not.
But what can you do to encourage the young generation to get involved in the process? They just have to get involved.
Yes, the reality is that if you look at the trajectory of where we are headed as a country, it's very bleak. And young people must understand that if the so-called future they are hoping to enjoy is going to ever exist, then their participation is key. So on our own part as civil society, we would continue to create awareness through civic education on the need for political participation, because again, for some of us that work around the governance space, we understand the extent to which politics play a critical role in determining what community gets development and what community doesn't. So beyond just human rights, young people on our own part must begin to organize ourselves, begin to engage the critical political institutions, starting from the political party system. Because if we don't get the primary election system in political parties, we'll continue to get it wrong. So our own is just advocacy, awareness creation among young people. We can support to organize them to carry out these activities, create awareness. But again, we need to begin to also influence our educational curriculum, because political democracy in itself is supposed to be a culture. It's supposed to be a way of life. So from kindergarten, Political consciousness is supposed to be inserted in the minds of young people, so that as they grow, they don't see political participation as an issue of between them and us, but as a necessity for them to actually actualize their rights as people. So that's the major thing, because if you look at our population, the youth demography has the highest. We've seen different data saying around over 60% are below 35 years. So if you look at the average of people leading this country now, you find out that it's about 55 years old. So it means majority of them between the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, they will not be here to face the consequences of the confusion we have now that we call a political system. So it is important that media stations also take that role to ensure that young people understand that this participation in politics and in governance is not an option.
Okay.
It is a responsibility that we must do. It is constitutionally backed, and without that political awareness, political consciousness, things would continue to happen at their detriment, and our political system will be subject to people that have money or people that have strategy to manipulate the system to continue to amass power, to continue to amass wealth. So it is critical that all of us take this message to various places, religious organizations should take that responsibility and all of that. If not, if tomorrow we wake up and we see that the country is no more, it shouldn't surprise anybody, because it is what you sow you would reap. So it's no magic. It's not about prayer. Go and pray and fast. It won't change anything as long as our mindset does not change towards politics. Politics is not about making money. Politics is not about amassing power. Politics is about giving responsibilities to people to be able to cater for the needs of every other person, if not everybody, but create the enabling environment for people to also be able to eke out a living and have human dignity as it is. So that is what we must say. It's something that all of us must. But I've never registered with any political party, but I know that during elections I am active in ensuring that if I have a preferred candidate, I support that preferred candidate because his programs and policies is aligning with what for me, I vote haphazardly in terms of I vote one party in one position, I vote another. I'm looking at the person. I'm not looking, because till now I don't know the difference between the political parties.
Wow.
As far as I'm concerned, it is just makeup and cosmetics, because it is the same people that were majority in PDP that are in APC today, and they joined the people in APC to say PDP was bad. So it means they were bad. They were part of the problem, and now they are here also saying that they were part of. So these are issues that for me are critical. Political participation is good for those ones that have the calling.
Yeah.
For us that can only be advocates and voters, we will continue to ensure we play our our role. We create awareness for more people to participate. But it is important that we take note of what happens politically, because even our economy to a large extent is politically determined.
All right, we'll take a call or two before we wrap it all up. I never knew the time was moving so fast. 081 40,989 and 07087 800 989. Let's find out who our first caller is. Hello, good evening and welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr. Mr. Ehis. Good evening. Good evening to your guests. You are on to Engineer Emmanuel.
All right, Engineer Emmanuel.
Yeah, your guests, all of them have done a very good justice on this topic. For me, on my own opinion, or let me add my own input, we need somebody that will have the masses at heart. Just as your servant, your guest there said, the last guest. If we should make these offices less attractive, and that you know that you are going there not for your own selfish interest or your own personal interest, but the interest of those that voted you into there. You see all these political parties now, when they want to decamp, they will say they consult. Who did they meet? Where did they hold the town meeting to consult the people? And the people say, okay, go. They will just come out on the media and tell us that they have consult and the people say they should move. You know, they are just protecting their own interest, not the interest of the masses. Come 2023, if we should have people that will have the interest of the masses first before their own interest, and let those that will take any position, from the president to the small position, let there be a contented. Don't go there for the money. Go there to keep a record that tomorrow you are not there. Just like our founding fathers, when they left, we did not see their fat bank account. But today, go around. That's why I see they are making the thing so that the young ones will not be able. Look at how much is the ticket for governorship of all this.
And Emmanuel, you've already made your point. I think we have to let you go now because we really do not have time on our hands. Let's take this other call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, good evening, and good evening to all your guests here.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Comrade Gabriel, the Texas man.
Quickly, in 30 seconds, if possible.
What I want to say is that so when a person is in a political party, for example, and that person is good, and that party is not good, is it not better for us to make sure that person even we advise to become before even to politics? Because if you look at what His Excellency the Governor of Kaduna is doing today, especially on the electoral government election, has to be congratulated. I don't think there's any way it's supposed to become from this present party probably to a new party, so that Nigeria will vote for him, because to me he has done great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Emmanuel. We'll take our last call now. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much, Ehis.
What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Dave from Kudende.
All right, quickly, in 30 seconds, let's have your take.
Thank you very much. It's very unfortunate that we have some selfish-minded politicians and, do I say, unpatriotic Nigerians as leaders in this country. That's why they are full of jumping ships. They are just there to make their money and put us into what we call untold hardship. So if we continue like this, we will not get it right. Because somebody will jump ship, we will decamp or rather defect from PDP to APC, from APC to PDP, shamelessly. So how will they get it right?
All right, Dave.
So that is why we will keep on suffering. And we will never get it right until we change our character.
All right, until we change our character, we may find it hard to get it right. Let's take this very last one. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening, Mr. Ehis.
Yes, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm Chika from Godingora.
All right, in 30 seconds, drop it.
I think that party is not a party that has the problem. I think it's the people that form the party that has the problem.
Okay.
For me, I think if we are talking about changing the narrative or the way governance is done in this country, we must join political parties, because we cannot change this thing from outside.
Okay.
If you keep on voting good people, they are just one people. But if we join the party, we form a formidable force to chase those bad people in those parties. Because if you leave PDP and come to APC, it will not make any sense. Or you form another new party, it will not make any sense. Because our political system has not gone to that level where we can make such an impact. So I think that's what now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that will be the very last call we'll take today. Please, if you have other comments and contributions, you can go to our Facebook page. We already have some comments there, but time will not permit us to take all of them. We have something from Lomanza Paul. Hi, I am at Alaba International. The gentleman in the middle, that's Yusuf Goje, has virtually said everything. Politicians have the duty to restore our confidence in them. That's from Lomenze Paul, Alaba International Market in Lagos. And Jonathan George Gomez is saying hello everyone in the studio. You have an interesting topic. Well, to encourage young people to go into politics, the electoral process needs to be free and fair. Secondly, the cost of any political office ticket should be affordable, at least It's quite long. I'll just take that bit because we are actually out of time. Let's see if in 1 minute each person can, 30 seconds actually, each person can give us their parting shots. I'll start from Samuel Yohana. Your parting shots.
Yes, my parting shots are the youth and the women are the game changer in this process. I solicit, I request they join so that they'll be part of the process, so that they can make a change, because their numerical strength is enormous.
Yusuf Goje.
Okay, yeah, I think it was Edmund Burke that said evil persists because good people do nothing. So I think it is not enough for majority of Nigerians to complain and criticize. This is time to participate and take hold of our destiny. Then yes, politics is good, but governance is better, because the politicians who go for elections because they want to control governance, while people only go for elections because of sentiments or because they have money. So we should focus on governance, because that's where monies are being appropriated, monies are being executed, and that is the interest. So it means when we put our eyes there, we'll reduce corruption, we'll attract more development to our communities. So let's engage,
29.
let's ask the right questions, and let's hold the government.
And 30 seconds. Danjuma.
So I will remember our own very own Professor Laro to me, who says that to do nothing is to be crippled fast. So I urge young people to muster up that number that they have and participate in the process. I particularly am interested in these particular groups, and also women, because they constitute the number, and they are also the people who stand in those queues to make sure that leaders are voted. And please, it doesn't matter the political party, go for the ones that your own ideologies and theirs align. It's not the popularity contest.
All right, and that's about the size of the program today. I want to sincerely appreciate you gentlemen for having time to be on the program this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for having us.
My name is Ehis Agbon. On Tuesday, I'll be on for another edition of the program, and this is a promise to you. The next 2 episodes will look at how we can talk more on governance, because just like Yusuf Goje said, can you borrow me that line again? The people go into politics so that they can affect governance, so that they can control governance.
That's where the money is.
That is where the money actually is. People go into politics so that they can control governance, because that is where the money is. We'll look at governance and how we are doing it, and the different things that would make governance translate to quality of life for the citizenry. It's a wrap today. You can go to the Facebook page and continue to read our comments and do what you need to do. Plant the tree today, water it, and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all. This is Invicta 98.9, and the program is Ground Zero.